here we go. So we have now officially found out, likely the next expansion, the next rework will be an air rework. This is a bigger air screen than it once was. So this has got 2 levels to it. Is this all in one? It is. So we've got the manpower, we've got Germany, we have 500 planes, I think that's what it's saying. Is it auto creating the air wings based on like templates of certain sizes? And it's specifically saying if it's going to be a reserve, regular, or elite priority for supplies and reinforcement, should I say? And then maybe an elite one. Barely anyone uses this icon. Does anyone even know what this icon is? They added it a while back. It's a way of basically saying that only one variant of one certain kind of plane can go in this specific air wing. It's quite useful for multiplayer if you just want like an elite fighting force of really, really powerful, up-to-date planes. This is kind of what you see in Road to 56, is it? It's like a double layer. There's more planes available, so you can see more. Are these filters? Oh, these are filters. That's so good. Oh, God, guys. Since the early days of HOI4 in like 2016, when it first came out, you used to have these mega long lists of planes. Got a little bit easier because you could destroy some of the old planes now, but you still couldn't filter them, and now it looks like we can actually filter them. This is concept art, so they've not actually finalized the actual graphics. Click to add plane types for quick redeployment. And then this is the final screenshot. So we have, oh, so these are theaters now. So specifically, air wings now will have their individual theaters. A bit like Navy, a bit like Army as well. So you have a theater based on planes inside of that theater. And this is, yes, 200 planes based on these 3 air wings, right? First thing I want to say out of the way is this is not a man-the-gun style rework of combat and management system. Our focus on air changes have mostly revolved around the quality of life and balance changes to the existing systems, while largely maintaining the structures people are familiar with. So what he's saying here is this is not the tank rework that people are expecting. People are expecting a plane rework where it's going to have modules for planes. What they're basically saying is maybe someday, but not this update. So basically they're making the existing interfaces and the existing systems more streamlined. So it's basically something that needs to be touched upon, but not as deep as probably some of the community is expecting. Starting off, quality of life change, I am happy about simplified wing deployment. Anyone who has experience with managing air wings probably has some of the complaints about how deploying wings works. The live system requires 3 clicks in the best case, 4 if you include choosing a base to deploy a single wing into an empty airbase. In the worst case, it requires more clicks and doing some math for creating the large wing that can later be divided evenly. Oh my God, the amount of times that I created 800 air wing size and then half it twice, 200, 200, 200, 200. Now we are adding a quick deploy button to the air base UI to allow deployment of wings in a single click. We are also keeping the old deployment menu for more advanced deployment options. Also in this menu, we have simplified the flow of deploying single and multiple wings at once. Work in progress, UI design of the simplified wing deployment tools. In the first image, we see the setup that can be done to select fast deployment options for any airbase. So you select an airbase, then you've got these options of different pre-made air wing sizes. So you select the kinds of planes you want, and then you press the plus sign and it automatically creates air wings from here. This is really, really good because I'll admit at the minute air wing creation is just, it's way too many clicks. Every time there's been an update for HOI4, one, I never expect how they're going to do it. Sure, I'll read the dev diaries, I get a kind of a brief understanding, but then when you actually play it and you start to get your hands on it, I'm always shocked by like, wow, this is how it should have worked. This is such a massive improvement. And you'll feel that as well. It's one of those moments, guys, where you need to lean back in your chair and say, no DLC rage. This is a safe space. Everyone's safe. Patch DLC. I can't afford this. I hope it's free. Just chill. This is a feature that's going to improve the quality of life of air wings, and it's going to be for the better. Listen, I'm going to hear you out, guys. You guys are going to read this dev diary and be pissed off because you're going to go, hang on a minute, I wanted to insert modules into my planes, and I can't do that. Probably because that's going to be coming in a later expansion, probably a larger expansion in the future. This is quality of life improvement. Try and understand the idea of a massive overhaul of a feature like the tank rework, and then a quality of life improvement. It's hard to tell for you guys because you've probably not been around since 2016, but 2016 HOI4 compared to today's HOI4, there are so many things you have to do in the old HOI4 that required 10 clicks, which today requires like 2. So everything is just so much more streamlined. One of the most visible changes to air management, and hopefully the big quality of life improvement that most people, is the addition of air groups. The first thing I want to say is this is not army groups or fleets. For now and the foreseen future, we are not adding air marshals or any sort of mechanical impact to using air groups. Air groups are an organizational structure and nothing more. What it will do is enable the grouping and selecting multiple air wings across multiple locations bases for easier management. These groups will be displayed within their air map mode that you do not have to hunt down your wings on the map when you want to interact with them. So one of the common issues you get in every HOI game is you want to group all your planes up because you want to manage your air wing sizes the way you want. So one thing you'll normally do is go into the air map mode and then grab them all across the world and group them up in like Paris or London or Berlin, you know, as you do. Of the changes we are making, one of the most notable is moving to standardization fixed wing sizes. This change comes with a loss of flexibility in some situations and makes managing smaller number of airplanes a bit more complicated. However, I think that a real air combat in HOI4 is measured in thousands of airplanes and not dozens. We are currently looking at air wing sizes of 100 for most aircraft, with size 10 wings for a few specific equipment types such as scout planes, CV planes, etc. This allows us to streamline wing deployment and some other management stuff, such as not having the AI take weird percentage of air bases. One of the issues that the AI runs into is management of the right amount of planes per air base. So what they're basically saying is the smallest air wing that you're going to be able to make in future is 100. Therefore, eliminating that possibility of the strange numbers that can cause air wings to become overloaded. Because think about it realistically. You've got an air base, 200 air wing size, one extra plane goes into it. For some reason, the entirety of the fleet there gets 99% efficiency. It doesn't even make a great lot of sense, does it? So it feels like it's more of a simplified system to avoid complications. Also, one other thing that's mentioned about this too is that is this a nerf for minor powers who can't have a big air force? What if I want to be a, I don't know, a CAS Hungary or a CAS Romania and conquer the Balkans? Am I going to be deterred by this new change? Possibly. We're adding a new mechanic for intercepting planes in region en route to their target. In most cases, engaging planes in their target region will still be the most effective, but in others, such as when the range is a factor, the region being crossed has a bunch of engagement and spotting bonuses. And in a few other cases, leaning into combat in an intermediary region can be a good idea. I feel slightly underwhelmed. There's a lack of information in here. No major air rework. So modules in planes, not happening anytime soon. A simplified air wing system for filters, awesome update, really good, especially late game. I'm really into this. And also this simplified way of creating air wings is also amazing too. Therefore, instead of clicking 10 times, you're gonna have to click once or twice. I like that a lot. I don't know how I feel about not allowing air wing sizes smaller than 100 though, and they have to be a multiple of 100. Right, so some of the chat just said, I think they mean intercepting planes, like from planes from West Germany, if planes fly from East Germany to North France. That's always something when I first played HOI that I never really quite understood. Like the idea they move from one air base to a certain region, their existence in the actual zone that they're deployed in has no impact whatsoever. And now you think about it, that doesn't even make any sense, does it? Because surely if you're intercepting in the region that they're taking off from, that would kind of have an impact. I mean, there's a lot of issues with planes at the moment. CAS spam is just so incredibly strong. Sometimes if you spam just fighters, you get a level of air superiority where you can never overcome it because they've got so many planes. There's an issue with strategic bombers too. Like if you get enough of them, you can never defeat them. Even if you make heavy fighters to preempt them, the problem is that strategic bombers can be moved from one region to another instantly. You could just dodge the heavy fighters, which is just minimally frustrating. There's like so many like little small gritty issues with the air system in HOI4 that I'm glad they're addressing it. It's going to be very difficult to address some of the big issues that the community's had for so long. Has the introduction of intercepting the planes en route actually stopped the current whack-a-mole mess of air combat in your test games? This, combined with the updated AI plane commitment and evaluation systems, mean you should see a lot less ping-ponging and instant reactions. There is a need to control the route to the target as well as the skies above it. What they're basically saying here is there's an improvement to how the AI manages its planes. One of the issues you find is when you go observe in console and look at what the AI is up to, you'll notice they're ping-ponging their planes all over the place. And it's really not optimal, and it's kind of silly, to be honest with you. I think what he's trying to address here is that is a possible improvement. So to the current system, when you want to make a new air wing, you click on an airbase, then you click add new air wing. Then you have to assign the air wing size by holding shift. That's an extra input. So we're on 4 inputs now, and then another input for the size of the air wing. I usually go for 200 and then wait for it to deploy. So 5 clicks, 5 actions basically. So I assume under the new system, it would be airbase, create air wing. So it'd be 2 clicks. You can get a better idea now how the system would work, right? So there'll be a box here, which should be this box. And you have this button here, create air wing. You click it and it creates your 100 air wing. So it would just be 1 and then click here, 2, and that would create 100 air wing size. I presume that's how it's going to work. As you can see now, guys, that severely reduces the amount of clicks required to create an air wing. I can't understand why you guys would be against this system. This is a fantastic system. Plain icon with the circle around it should let you reorganize air wings. Wow, I never even knew that was there. Dave's discovering HOI4 for the first time. Reorganize air wings. It doesn't make much difference, though. It doesn't make much difference. But I guess it's nice that you can change the specialization, the priority for equipment. I suppose that's kind of cute, I guess. So, guys, I want to just set your expectations so you don't get disappointed, okay? This isn't going to be a massive update. Why? Because we've only just had no step back. There's not been enough time to develop a full-blown expansion for HOI4. So, as you're noticing, a lot of the changes they're making are quality of life improvements. They're smaller, but they refine the existing game to basically require you to click less and therefore have obviously a more quality experience. If you want me to make a prediction on this video, I predict that we're going to get the 2 reworks that we've already talked about, and then we're probably going to get maybe a rework of an existing focus tree, naming no names. Comment below on this video if you have any idea what you think that rework will be. Please, Tanu Tuva, please. And don't forget, guys, to like and subscribe for my second channel. FeedbackIRL is where it's at. Boy. This video technically is part 2.